Let me make it clear, first of all, I'm not going to be selling any product. I'm not selling any shop. I don't have any. I'm a freelance. I'm trying to sell you all a way of life, which is a Spanish way of life, the Spanish way of eating. Now, if I was giving this rant in Spain, I'll be ranting against the way Spaniards are completely convinced that Spanish food is the best in the world. And they hate British food. They have this cliched view of British food, which I totally disagree with. But in any case, here am I, though, to defend what I do believe is the wonderful feature of Spain, which is the Spanish timetable, the Spanish approach to eating. Now, it carries on from the last conversation about chorizo. By the way, chorizo in Spanish just doesn't mean a sausage, a spicy sausage. It also means somebody who's a complete criminal, who's a liar, a chorizo. Anyway, that's another concept of chorizo. But what I love about Spain is its flexibility, is it's the timetable you have and the late hours. Now, Spain never used to have these late hours which we associate with Spain today. In the late 19th century, people had lunch at 1 o'clock, they had breakfast at 8, but this all changed after about 1900. No one knows why. Now in Spain, a typical Spanish breakfast, you have your coffee when you wake up, you have your breakfast between 11 and 12. Now people complain about this. Everyone leaves the office at 11 o'clock. You cannot get hold of somebody between 11 and 12. There have been numerous attempts to change this, to bring this more in line with European hours, because obviously if you're a British businessman, you're trying to contact a Spanish businessman and you cannot get through. But the Spaniards have always resisted changing this. You go away. I know Spaniards who go 10 miles away from their office to go to a wonderful bar where they do chorizo and tortilla for breakfast. But lunch is not till about, in the southern Spain where I live, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It makes the day so much longer. What I hate about being in Britain is I have meetings at lunchtime with my publishers or whoever, with friends. Let's meet at 12:30 at 1 o'clock. But the day to me has just begun. A day is so much more interesting if you can continue a morning until 3 o'clock, until 4 o'clock. But what happens in Spain, at 2 o'clock is the time for the aperitivo, the tapa, a little tidbit before you have your proper lunch at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. And I've been with so many Spanish friends that, Michael, we'll have lunch at 4. We have an important meeting at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock comes and they're still eating with you. I said, you've got your meeting. It doesn't matter. We'll forget about it. And this is, to me, a mentality which I think is a secret of happiness. And then, of course, you have your supper. You don't eat so much at supper in Spain, but you have this wonderful tradition of the supper, not having a huge proper meal. You go out with friends to eat a supper of tapas. And this is the final point I want to make, which I think is why the Spanish way of eating is the best in the world. It's a tradition of sharing. Now, however good the produce, however wonderful the chef, the enjoyment of food comes from the people you're with, comes from the atmosphere, comes from the banter. And the Spaniards have appreciated this. Everyone eats together. You share from the same plate. And this creates an atmosphere which you don't get, let's say, in the polite London dinner party circle. It's not the same thing. It's a group of friends getting together, sharing. And there was a survey, and I don't really believe in these surveys, especially they're usually done by the country who comes out on top. But it is said that Spain has the happiest families in the world, and that the people are the happiest people in Europe, and this is a very inappropriate moment to talk about Spain and the wonderful Spanish climate, but people are happy because they all eat together. They don't have their individual dinners, their pizzas in front of a television. You eat as a group. This, as a group, when you like it, an extended day, this is, to me, is a secret of happiness. Thank you.